Now today we are going to continue with AWP concepts that whatever we have left over in the previous class. Now in the previous class we have covered about certain topics such as what is wave, what is uniform plane wave, and what is going to be the relationship, what is going to be the relationship for the radiation, right? So what is wave? Basically a wave is something like a physical phenomena which occurs at a particular place in a given time and is reproduced at another place in a later time, is simply known as a wave. Next, what is uniform plane wave? A uniform plane wave is a wave whose characteristics are going to be constant, which is seen by the receiver or which is seen at the receiver. Now our communication system is going to be what now? You normally going to have a transmitter, you are going to have a free space channel, and you are going to have a receiver. The transmitter and receiver are separated by a long distance. So therefore this radio communication we normally prefer for long distance communications usually. Now since we prefer radio communications for long distance communications, uniform plane wave has been defined, because a uniform plane wave is normally going to have some characteristics as is being seen by the receiver side. Now for example, receiver is known as an observer. So what the observer is going to see? Observer is going to see, whenever you transmit any wave, the observer is going to see a uniform plane wave. So that means it is analogous to the water waves. If say for example there are two people, one guy is sitting on the one part of the lake and another observer is going to sit in the later part of the river, then if somebody throws a stone at one place and the other guy known as an observer, he is going to visualize the plane waves. That means he is not going to visualize any waves, water waves which are coming in a circular fashion. He is going to just see a plane waves only. That means the waves are simply propagating something like this. So like this, the waves, water waves, if you just throw a stone in a peaceful water, then what happens? The waves are normally going to get transferred like this. Okay, so that means these are the waves which we normally going to get like this. So let us, for example, observer is here is the observer, here is the observer. Now observer is going to see this portion of the wave, so that portion is going to be seen like a plane wave. That means a straight line kind of a thing is going to observe. That means he is going to observe a plane wave. So this plane wave is going to have some characteristics. What are the characteristics of a plane wave? A plane wave has got characteristics like the observer is going to see the electric and magnetic fields are perpendicular to each other. What is the observer that is going to see now? So the observer is always going to see that the electric field and magnetic field are perpendicular to each other and the EM wave is propagating along the Z direction. So when you consider a 3 coordinate system like this, the wave is normally going to get transmitted like this. Now to visualize that this Z is perpendicular to these two, you can just simply draw a cuboid. So I can just draw a cuboid like this, see here. So by the help of this cuboid we can visualize the 3-dimensional picture, because cuboid is a result of the 3-dimensional axis. So for example, I can just draw a cuboid like this. Now this is something like, I can just draw this line over here. This is electric field and I am normally going to draw another line. This is called magnetic field. This is electric field, this is magnetic field. Now these two are in 2 axes. Now I have one more axis. This is called the Z axis. See this now? This is a Z axis now. Now this is Z axis. Now we can visualize now very clearly, as it is a box now, it is a 3-dimensional box. Now the electric field lines are always going to be moving in this direction. Okay, so these are the electric field line directions. What about magnetic field? Magnetic field is moving along this axis. Say this is the axis. Say for example it is the x axis, E is y axis. So I can just simply designate it as a y axis. This I can write as in some x axis. Now in that case the magnetic field lines are simply moving parallel to x-axis. The resultant of this electric and magnetic field waves, which are time varying in nature, we normally going to get a wave along the axis which is perpendicular to the E and H plane. Now, what the end user is going to see in the uniform plane wave, the end user is always going to see that the electric and magnetic fields are going to lie in a one plane. Okay, so which are going to be perpendicular to each other, and the wave is propagating along z direction. That is what he is going to see. Then next, what is that he is going to see? He is going to see that the wave is propagating always with the velocity of light. It is the second characteristic that the observer is going to observe. And third characteristic is wave impedance. Wave impedance. Now what is the wave impedance? The end user is going to observe. The end user is going to observe the wave impedance as mu naught by epsilon naught, which is equal to 377 ohms. So the end user or observer is going to see the wave impedance as going to be something like 377 ohms of a uniform plane wave. So the wave impedance of uniform plane wave is going to see as this one, and the first point is going to be the E and H fields are perpendicular to each other and the wave is propagating along z direction. Second one, say for example wave impedance. Third one is the wave is always going to propagate with velocity of light. Third one is wave propagation is going to be with velocity of light. Wave is going to propagate with velocity of light. And last one is whatever may be the wavelength or whatever may be the velocity of the wave, whatever may be the velocity of the wave, whatever may be the velocity of the actual signal or actual wave, but when the wave is transmitted in a free space, it is going to transmit only with the velocity of light. That means the input signal may be at any speed, doesn't matter, but once that particular wave is normally transmitting through a free space, it is always going to transmit with the velocity of light. So with these four characteristics, the observer is going to distinguish the wave which is transmitted by the transmitting antenna as a uniform plane wave at a very far field. So at a far field, the observer is going to observe the wave is going to be of a uniform plane wave nature. So therefore we discussed about this uniform plane wave, and in the last class we have compared this uniform plane wave with the carrier wave. In the analog communications subject. So in the analog communications, we are seeing that characteristics in terms of the electrical parameters. Now here we are going to see them in the wave characteristics. So therefore there will be some little bit variation the way we normally represent them, but the concept is going to be same. That means the wave parameters parameters are normally going to be constant. What parameters a wave is going to have? Definitely a wave is going to have an amplitude, a wave is going to have a frequency, a wave is going to have some phase shift. Now all these parameters are normally going to be uniform throughout the propagation of the wave. That is what is normally going to see for a wave which is being transmitted by a transmitting antenna at the receiver side. So these are these various characteristics of a uniform plane wave which we have seen in the previous class. Now today what we do now, we go with the radiation mechanism, physical radiation concept, and we developed an equation for a radiation, for a EM wave radiation. What is that equation we developed? We developed an equation as di by dt is equal to something like rho L into say dq by dt, something like dvc by dt. So dv by dt into L. So that means here this is the equation which is the governing equation for radiation. Now what is so important is that here this I can write as, this is anyway constant, so I can write this as proportional to, it is going to be A is nothing but the acceleration of the wave, acceleration of the wave. So now this A is known as acceleration of the wave. This acceleration is dependent on the charge q enclosed. So the rate of change of either the charge has to change continuously or the current has to be time varying. So either charge has to be time varying or current has to be time varying in order to generate the electromagnetic radiations. So this is what we have seen in the previous class. Now let us look into the radiation mechanism by using a dipole antenna. So now here we use a dipole antenna. We use a dipole antenna. Now what is dipole antenna? A dipole antenna is represented something like this. It's very simple. It's going to have two polarities, right? One is going to be positive side, another one is going to be the negative side or ground side. Now here, how we normally going to construct a dipole antenna? So here a dipole antenna is constructed from a waveguide. Now we have seen in the previous class what are the various possibilities of generating EM radiations. The EM radiations are going to get generated if the waveguide is terminated or if the waveguide is bended. So in that case we normally going to generate the radiations. That means the waveguide, say for example the length of the waveguide is something like this. Imagine this is the length of the waveguide and this waveguide has to be terminated. That means there should be some bending in the waveguide. That means whatever this portion I have now, this portion in the dipole antenna structure, I simply going to draw like this. I bend these two like this in a right angles. That means here I normally going to put a maximum flaring. The flaring angle is going to be 90 degrees here. That means the twisting angle is going to be 90 degrees here. When I twist like this to a waveguide, I normally going to have a antenna structure. Okay. So like for example, this is a input current that I am giving. Say current I is transmitting with respect to time. Right. Now this current I is transmitted through this particular waveguide. Now I can call this section as a transmission line. I can call this as a transmission line, or it is going to be called as a waveguide. It is going to be called as a waveguide for us. Transmission line or a waveguide. And now this part is known as a antenna for me. This is known as a antenna for me. So this is now dipole antenna. So how did I construct a dipole antenna? Just by taking a waveguide of some larger line distance, then I have truncated in between, I have terminated in between, and I had some bending. I applied bending here. This is bended here. These two ends are bended in right angles in order to generate the radiations. So by this mechanism I normally going to construct a dipole antenna. So this antenna is simply known as a dipole antenna for us. Now we will try to see how an EM wave is going to get detached from the dipole antenna in this session. Okay. Now there is one more antenna called Hertzian dipole antenna. What is another antenna called as? Hertzian dipole antenna. Okay, Hertzian dipole antenna. So it is known as a small dipole antenna. It is also known as it is called as a small dipole antenna. What do you mean by small? We always going to compare it with respect to wavelength, as we discussed earlier in the previous class. So if the wavelength lies between 0.5 to 0.1 lambda, if the wavelength of if the height of the antenna is proportional to 0.5 lambda to 0.1 lambda, sorry, this is 0.1 lambda. If the height of the antenna is proportional to, 0.5 lambda to 0.1 lambda, then such type of a small dipole antenna is called as a Hertzian dipole antenna. So but the discussion is not on the types of the antennas now. The discussion is on the radiation mechanism of a dipole antenna. Okay, let us look into the radiation mechanism now. How we normally going to radiate the signal from the antenna. Now here initially this let us suppose if at all you don't want to radiate 100%, you don't want to radiate the signal 100%, then we normally going to reduce the flaring, which we have seen in the very beginning class where I have shown the dipole antenna. The dipole antenna I have shown you something like this. So antenna something like this I have shown you. That means here the angle between these two is not 180. It is going to be less than 180. Means what? The flaring is not 100% done. Maximum flaring has not been done here. So in this case what will happen? We normally not going to transmit 100% radiation. That means 100% the signal is not radiated in this particular type. Only some portion of the signal is radiated in the electromagnetic spectrum. So all these things are based on the applications that we are dealing with. We are normally going to provide the flaring for the antenna. But here in this type, I want to achieve the 100% radiation. Therefore, I am normally going to have such kind of a setup or a construction here. Now in this setup now, what I can understand is that this yellow line is known as a antenna for me, which is known as a dipole antenna for me. So for a clarity I can just have like this little bit. So this is known as a dipole antenna, and this intermediate section is known as a transmission line or a waveguide section, and this is known as a source. This is known as the source of the signal. This is known as the source. Now before the antenna radiates any signal, there should be a source compulsorily. That means there should be some initiating force for the signal to propagate. Okay, before the antenna. After the antenna, what will happen? Where is the source for the signal to propagate? There is no source. The signal is normally going to get propagated by itself in the free space. There is no separate source connected between transmitter and the receiver section. Now we are assuming it going to be at the transmitter section. Now we transmit the wave in the free space. In the free space the wave is going to get transmitted until it reaches to the receiving antenna. Then receiving antenna is going to receive the signal, just like a satellite communication. In our houses we are experiencing every day that we are receiving signals from the satellite by using dish antennas. That means the satellite is transmitting the signal and dish antennas are receiving the signal continuously. That means what is the distance between satellite and the antenna? It is the dish antenna we have in the house. It is very huge, very large. So like that, in between what are the waves we are getting now? Electromagnetic waves are getting transmitted. So our antenna is simply receiving the electromagnetic waves, and these waves are processed by the internal set-top boxes, and finally we are getting the output. Same is the case with the radio. Same is the case with the radio and other kind of radio communications. Okay. Now how the wave is normally going to get propagated? See here, whenever I simply bother about a wave, I will be looking into a time varying signal. Yes or no? The wave that I will be looking into a time varying wave. The wave I will be looking into is a time varying wave. That means the wave is going to get propagated something like this, which is varying with respect to time. Now here, as the wave is varying with respect to time, this is with respect to time axis. Let us say this is the current that I am going to transmit. Say current I of t I am transmitting. Now inside this waveguide we normally going to represent by a vector representations. That means these waves I normally write it something like this. How the waves are simply transmitted here in this. So here we normally going to have a 0 here, then once again we normally going to have a minus side, negative side, and a 0 here. That means here if you see the envelope, now we normally going to have a envelope like this. Now the wave is getting travelled in the transmission line something in this fashion. Therefore we normally going to represent wave in the transmission line. How we represent the wave in the transmission line? See here I am going to have the maximum, then towards minimum I will be getting. Now when I say minimum, I can just show with the distance. Okay, so that means as we come towards 0, it is diminishing now. So therefore I normally go with some distance here. Okay, like this we represent a wave, and reverse section, reverse side, when it is taking negative, I can write the negative wave as something like, say this is negative part, maximum negative part. Here I am going to have the wave here like this, and positive side wave is like this, negative side something like wave is like this. So like this the wave is simply propagating like this continuously in the transmission line or a waveguide. Now this is nothing but electrical wave which is traveling with respect to the time varying nature of the signal. Now once after the wave reaches to this point, what will happen? We should understand how the wave is simply getting radiated. Now this is what the electric field is going to get induced because of the applied voltage. Because of voltage, current is going to flow. Because of the current flow, we normally going to have a drift velocity. Due to drift velocity, electric field is going to get induced. Because of electric field, what will happen? Magnetic field is also going to get induced according to the Maxwell's equations. Now, now like this, we normally going to apply the signal, and this is propagating through the waveguide, something like this. Now we will try to analyze the mechanism here in this manner. Say for example, we are talking about a dipole antenna like this. This is my antenna, a dipole antenna. Okay. Right. Now the wave is taking positive and negative, right? See, I am applying a sine wave. I am applying a sine wave like this. I am applying a sine wave like this. So this is going to be a sine wave, for example. Now once I apply a sine wave, what will happen now? This plate is going to be positive. Say, imagine that when the positive peak is transmitting, so this is 0 for example, this is going to be, now I can call this side as something like say for example the entire cycle is going to be, say for example this is the cycle I have, single cycle. What is the time period of the signal I can have now? This time period I can take as equal to t. So therefore this time period is going to be how much? T by 4, right? This is another t by 4, means it is going to be t by 2, right? Alright, this is t by 2. Okay, so this maximum peak, it reaches to the maximum peak at t by 4 time period. Another t by 4 time period, it goes to 0. Another t by 4 time period is normally going to coming to the maximum negative. Another t by 4 it will be going towards 0 again. So that means this is the wave we normally going to have. Now once the wave is not normally like this, the polarity of this wave for the first quarter cycle will be what? No, this will be plus, this will be definitely minus. And what is that we understood in the previous classes? The electric field lines are going to move from positive to negative polarity. Whereas magnetic field, in order to have a magnetic field, we need to have compulsorily north pole and south pole. The magnetic flux lines are always going to move from north pole to the south pole. So if you have only one polarity, if you have only one polarity, say north pole or south pole, no magnetic field is going to get induced as far as the magnetic field theory is concerned. So therefore, whereas coming to the electric field, if you have either positive field or negative field, there is a possibility of existing of an electric field, right? So with that basic analogy, we normally proceed further here. Now I think you are understanding now. So please understand the concept now. Now as it is plus to minus, current flows from higher potential to the lower potential. Therefore, what are going to be the lines of electric field now? The electric field is going to be like this. Electric field lines, say I am drawing with 3 lines now here. These are the electric field lines which are propagating through the antenna. So when the wave is going from 0 to t by 4 time period, we normally going to have the electric field intensity going from positive to negative. Positive to negative, from negative once again like this, the electric field lines are normally going to move. That means, say for example, if this is going to be a point A, this is the point say B, this is C, this point is D, this is E, right? Now how the wave is moving now? The wave is moving from A to B, B to C, C to D, electric field lines D to E and D to A, and once again A to B, like this. So this is the direction of the electric field lines, how they are moving, because electric current flows from higher potential to the lower potential. Positive is higher potential, negative is lower potential. So like this, electric field lines are normally going to get induced. Now according to the Maxwell's equations, if electric field is going to exist, then definitely magnetic field is also going to exist. Why? Because we have Maxwell has given us an equation, del cross H is equal to J. Okay, that means here J, which is nothing but equal to sigma E, right? So if electric field is induced, now this electric field is going to generate the magnetic field. Okay, so the general equation is going to be, this is the overall equation. So del cross H is equal to J plus dou D by dou T. If electric field is generated or generated here inside, and magnetic field is normally going to get induced here. So now how the magnetic field lines are normally going to move? They will be moving perpendicular to this in a circular fashion. That means the magnetic field lines will be moving like this. Magnetic field lines are normally going to get induced perpendicular to this particular conducting plate. Now in this conducting bar, electric current is flowing. Because of the current, time varying current, electric field is induced, and because of electric field, magnetic field is also going to get induced. So like this, the electric and magnetic fields are going to get induced. Because of electric and magnetic fields, EM wave is normally going to get generated by the antenna. So this is how the mechanism we normally going to have in the antenna. Now in the first quarter cycle, what is happening now? This is the scenario we are going to have in the antenna section. So I can call this as, say, some figure A. Next let us come to another figure B. Another figure B means what? The wave is now going in a retarding fashion. Decreasing wave is coming now. After T by 4 seconds, the wave is now decreasing. That means the polarities which are there on this side are getting reversed, and the energy of the polarity is simply decreasing slowly. As the energy of the polarity is simply decreasing slowly, what will happen now? These are the field lines. So along with the wave, the field lines is also normally going to move. Now if you imagine that this distance travelled in the free space by a electric field is going to be something like lambda by 4. Then next time this particular quarter cycle, to transmit this quarter cycle, what will happen now? We will draw the figure for this particular quarter cycle now. That means this figure I can say at T is equal to 0 to T is equal to T by 4. So in this time period, we normally going to have this kind of a pattern, this kind of a radiation mechanism we can experience. Now next time let us look into figure B. In figure B, once again I will draw the antenna now. So this is my antenna, right? Now we are going from T by 4 to T by 2. So here at T is equal to T by 4 to T by 2. In this duration of time, how the wave is simply propagating? Now already the wave has been travelled in a lambda by 4 distance up to T by 4. After T by 4, another wave is coming. Now for this, another wave is getting transmitted. By the time this wave is, by the time the electric field lines for this wave is getting generated in the free space, this is also going to move by another lambda by 4 period. So that means what we can have is here as, it is normally going to move like this. So lambda by 4 plus lambda by 4 is normally equal to lambda by 2. So it is going to travel a distance called lambda by 2, right? Now similarly what happens parallelly now? This diminishing, this is the diminishing side of the signal now. When the signal is diminishing now, what will happen now? We normally going to get another electric field lines in a reverse direction. Now what is the direction of this field now? The direction is something like this, positive to negative. Now when it is diminishing in this time period, the magnetic field, the electric field lines are normally going to take reverse. What is the reverse direction it is going to have now? Like this, the field lines are normally going to take in a reverse direction. So that means this is what the electric field lines which we normally going to have. See how I am drawing it here. You should draw similarly in the exam. So this direction is going to be reverse of the previous one. Now what is the distance traveled by this particular field lines? Same, lambda by 4. It is going to travel at a distance of lambda by 4. And by the time when this is going to get traveled by lambda by 4, the original one, the previous quarter half cycle electric field lines are simply going to move by lambda by 4. So put together lambda by 2 is normally going to be there here. So like this, many waves are normally going to be there like this. Okay, so many lines of force will be there like this. And finally next figure, let us go into the next figure, that is figure C. Figure C, I once again draw the antenna now, transmitting antenna. This is a dipole antenna now. Now here, this is the pattern or mechanism we normally going to get. AC signal will be there here. Right. Now these are the waves which we are going to get at exactly T by 2 minus. What is T by 2 minus? Just before T by 2. Just before T by 2, it is not exactly equal to 0. So since it is not exactly 0, still the electric field lines are attached to the antenna, right? So here up to T by 2 minus, the electric field lines are attached to the antenna. What is the meaning of T by 2 minus? Just before happening of the time period T by 2 is known as T by 2 minus. Just before T by 2 minus, the electric field lines are attached to the antenna. Now next figure I will draw at T is equal to T by 2 plus. What is the meaning of saying at T is equal to T by 2 plus? Just after the T is equal to T by 2. Okay. So at that time what will happen now? Here if you see, observe carefully, this voltage value is 0. Means what? The antenna is normally going to get neutralized. Neither positive nor negative charges will be there on the antenna. So once that particular instance is going to get reached, all these lines are simply going to get detached from the antenna. So how it is going to look like now? See, already we discussed about this. The antenna lines are going to propagate like this. Okay. Now here these two quarter cycle, this is one quarter cycle and this is going to be other quarter cycle. So for these two quarter cycles, what happens now? One quarter cycle is coming from here, another quarter cycle is like this part. So this part we normally going to show it like this. So the direction of this first quarter cycle is going to be this one, and the next quarter cycle is going to be this one. And here we normally going to form a wave front. This is known as a wave front. A wave front is normally going to get formed, which is going to be of duck shape. So what is the shape of this? It is known as a duck shape. Duck shape. Why this duck shape is normally going to come? The velocity of the wave nearer to the antenna is going to be more than the velocity of the wave in the free space. Therefore, we normally going to experience this duck here. That means the wave is normally going to get pushed very fastly into the free space. So once after some time at infinite distance, all the waves are normally going to transmit at a velocity of light, which is 3 into 10 power 8 meters per second. So like this, here presently we have drawn for three electric field lines. Here also I can just draw for the 3 electric field lines. Say for example, I am going to draw one more electric field line, and for this I will be drawing another electric field line. I am drawing another electric field line, right? So like this, I just going to draw one more field line, okay, and one more field line I normally going to draw here. So one more field line. Now here this is detached now. This is the antenna actually. This is what detached now. So exactly at T is equal to T by 2 plus, what will happen now? These waves are going to get detached. Once after the field lines are going to get detached from the antenna, Now we call this as a EM wave, electromagnetic wave. So once I get electromagnetic wave, this is known as a wave front. I can call this as a wave front. Now these waves are normally going to get transmitted in the free space. So this is the mechanism of the what is that? This is the mechanism of the EM wave radiation from a transmitting antenna. Say reverse operation is going to be done for the receiving antenna. So like this. Now say similarly, now next time what is happening? I am inverting the waveform here. When I am inverting the waveform here up to 0 to minus t by 2 time period, what will happen now? Same thing is normally going to happen, but in a reverse fashion. In a reverse fashion means what? How it is normally going to be done? This is going to get traveled. Now what is the distance of travel for this now? How much distance it takes now? The distance it takes is going to be sim lambda by 2 total distance. Next peak is going to come for lambda by 4. Once it comes for lambda by 4, once again same kind of a story is going to get repeated. Now this is going to move ahead by lambda by 4 distance, and for another lambda by 4, one more electric field lines are normally going to come, which are going to be opposite to these two directions. That means the yellow lines what I have shown now will be reversed now. That means I will just show one of the line here, the yellow line. So this yellow line direction is going to be upward direction. Here it is downward direction, this is going to be upward. That means both of them are normally going to get interchanged here. Next, this orange line that I am going to have, orange line I am going to have like this, and the direction of orange arrow is going to be something like downwards. Now this distance is normally going to be equal to lambda by 4. So like this, the wave is simply going to get detached from a transmitting antenna, and exactly reverse operation is going to take place at the receiving antenna. So this is what regarding the wave mechanism or radiation mechanism of a radiating antenna. And here, in order to understand this, we have discussed it by using a dipole antenna. So dipole antenna is a very important topic for us, and we normally go in length as far as dipole antenna is concerned. So in the next classes, we start going with the discussing about the various characteristics of an antenna. And what are the various characteristics of an antenna we discussed in the previous very beginning class? Radiation pattern, efficiency, directivity, so on and so forth. So all these characteristics we once again going to discuss in detail, okay, in the next class, right? So thank you very much for today's session.